What's up, guys? Got a brand new video for you today. Welcome back to the channel. Neil here, inspiring filmmaker. And today we are talking about something that I feel is really special in the market. And I know usually monitors are not that sexy to talk about and things like that, but I think it's one of the most important things that you can have when monitoring your image, especially with video production on set while you're filming any sort of video work. This is so crucial and essential. And let me just tell you, this quite possibly may be the last monitor slash recorder slash live streaming device that you will ever buy. I want to thank Atomos for sending me this Shogun unit. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting small creators. And they sent it to me because I am doing this review on it. But these thoughts are my own opinions. They don't get to see this video before it's published. Also, I'll be using this on my short film productions and a couple of documentaries, narrative work that I have coming up. So special thanks to Atomos again for sending me this. I greatly appreciate it. So what I'd like to talk about today is the new Atomos Shogun Ultra, which is this monitor right here to the side and behind me. Okay, so if you know anything about Atomos, you know that they've been making monitors for quite a while now, starting with their Ninja 5 series. They had some monitors before that, but they really started to gain popularity with their Ninja 5 series. Also Ninja 5 Plus. Now they also have the Ninja 5, the new Ninja 5 and Ninja 5 Ultra. This particular model is the Shogun Ultra, and Shogun, basically the same monitor. The only difference between the new Shogun and the Shogun Ultra is one does 6K input and the other one does 8K input. Let me just tell you, if you know anything about monitors, this is a great value. The Shogun is $9.99, the Shogun Ultra is $11.99. You can get other monitors in the market that are cheaper, but they're cheaper for a reason. Let me tell you some of the features just right off the bat that I love about this. HDMI in and out. SDI in and out. Okay, let's just start there. 7-inch screen. Beautiful touchscreen display. Very bright. You're going to be able to see it in outdoor bright sunny conditions. So that's just some of the basic stuff that, you know, really should wow you about this monitor. 7 inches is a great field of view, especially when you are trying to monitor your image on a camera, and if it has a really small screen, usually that's not going to help you frame up your entire image. So the treatment that you're going to be getting is not what it's actually probably going to look like, or that you should try to frame up with. Besides that, most cameras don't have the built-in features that this monitor and other monitors have. But let's focus on this monitor, okay? So let me start. This has all kind of different added features besides just being a monitor. Obviously with Atomos products like the Ninja 5, if you're familiar with that, and other Ninja series, along with the Shogun, you can actually record to SSDs. So basically a $50 1 terabyte SSD, you can record your video to this, and you're going to be able to have a lot more storage than, say, an SD card. Because as we know, V90 SD cards that are not even as fast as these SSDs cost quite a bit of money. A 1 terabyte Angelbird card is $500. This is $50. So if you plan on buying 2 Angelbird V90 cards, yes, they're excellent cards, but why do that when you can have a 7-inch monitor and a recorder and a live streaming device? And I know some people say, it's cumbersome, you don't necessarily always want to run a monitor. But let me just tell you, if you're doing any sort of real serious production, you want this on your camera. If you have clients that want to monitor the image in-house, you can use this as a director's monitor, so you can actually let them see what the framing and what the shot is going to look like if they desire to do so. Now, I've never had a client that wanted to do that, but sometimes it may happen. Wouldn't it be functional and very optimal for you to have that ability to do that for your client? Also, let's just talk about some remote things. You have remote view, so if you needed to send this to an iPad or an iPhone, you can do that too. So if your client didn't necessarily want to have the monitor in their hands, you can send the signal from here. So everything that your camera sees and the monitor sees, you can then send it via remote view to the iPad or the iPhone. That's a real important feature there as well. I think that would be incredibly handy and incredibly useful. All right, so we're going to get to the internals of the monitor itself as far as the features, the software, which is, by the way, running the new Atomos OS 11, which is so sweet. Chef's kiss, because it is a major improvement from the last operating system, in my opinion. It's just more functional, it's snappier, it just works. So let's talk about some other features that are very useful. So we've already talked about the screen size, already talked about the storage capabilities. Let's talk about live streaming. So with this device, Wi-Fi 6E is built in. So there's two reasons that this is important. So let's just say you want to live stream an event, right? Or if you're at a wedding, or you just have something that's purposeful that you need to live stream. You can then live stream from this device plugged into your camera via an HDMI or SDI. And you can live stream to Twitch, Frame.io, Facebook Live, or YouTube Live. Now, right off the bat, if you have the Atomos Cloud plan, it's free basically, but you will have to have at least a starter plan to stream in 1080p. And the two settings there are low quality and medium quality. Now, they have some other plans that go up from there, which will allow you to stream in 1080p high quality. Now, I know like that doesn't sound like a bunch, but I mean, who really needs 4K streaming? I mean, 1080 is pretty good. And, you know, for most case uses, and most people are going to be watching content on their phone anyways. So 1080p is more than fine. Another great aspect about it having built-in Wi-Fi 6E is, say for instance, it's a, you know, you need to be on set all day and you want to basically be proactive and get ahead of the game. This has Atomos Connect built into it. So what Atomos Connect is, it will allow you to send your video files, proxy files essentially, to your editor or whoever's taking care of your video. That way they can go ahead and start editing the video, and then later you sync them with your original files. Tremendous. I mean, why wouldn't you want that? To save time, to go ahead and start having your projects put together. Or for instance, if you're just shooting the content, right, and you're sending it over to an editor, they can go ahead and start editing it. Maybe the company has their own editor. Maybe you have an outsourced editor, but they can go ahead and start editing your project, and then you just later dump the original files to them and they just sync it up in whatever NLE editing software that they are using. Tremendous feature. Like, really, why wouldn't you want that? And kind of like an honorable mention, this Black Friday, Atomos is running a sale on the Atomos Connect. So if you have a Ninja 5 or a device that doesn't have Connect built into it, you can get the Atomos Connect for $199. So essentially what that does, it goes on the back of your Ninja 5. It then allows your Ninja to become wireless, so that way the same features that you have in this monitor / recorder, you can then start using on your Ninja 5, sending proxy files to your editor or whoever you need to offload it to. Also, doing Atomos Connect, you'll be able to live stream from that device with the Atomos Connect. So check that out for Black Friday. It's going to be $199. The original price is $299. Also, if you're just needing a monitor, the Zato Connect, which actually has it all built into it, just a monitor, it is going to be $199 as well. Normally it's $299. So if you just need a monitor, you don't need the recording features and stuff like that for your camera, but you want to be able to dump files and then also live stream, the Zato Connect is also $199 for the Black Friday. So let's get back to this. So we talked about, you know, Wi-Fi, we talked about storage, we talked about screen size, we talked about inputs. Now, again, this has HDMI in and out. It has 12G SDI in and out. So for cinema cameras that, you know, take advantage of that, say like Red, Sony FX6, FX9, or any other cameras that I'm not thinking of that I didn't mention, if you have SDI, you can use it with this monitor. As far as powering this monitor, it comes with a USB-C, which is pretty handy because the old ones came with like a dummy NPF style battery, basically plug, and you could plug that into something. I got a NPF dummy to D-tap because I use V-mount batteries, but this comes with basically a barrel connection to a USB-C. So the power input in the back of this, you can actually power with a USB-C, basically a V-mount battery or any sort of battery bank that has USB-C power delivery of at least 16 volts. Or you can use the dummy NPF style battery to D-tap, or you can just use a regular NPF battery. Currently right now, the way that I have this being powered is actually with a NPF 970 battery. Those are relatively inexpensive. They're like 30-35 bucks on Amazon. So 3 power options, great, you know, really versatile. Now, let's jump into a real special feature that I like. So when you're doing any sort of video production, you want to make sure you get your skin tones right. And the way you do that typically is with false color, which this monitor has built into it. But two extra features that it has into it. It has EL zone and also RE false color. So those are three different ways that you can manage your skin tones and get your images right and make sure that, you know, this isn't blown out, this isn't underexposed. And the thing about EL zone is it was developed to be more accurate. So instead of just having your middle gray and your percentages and stuff like that, it actually shows you in stops. So I think it's more accurate than your typical false color. And that was something that was developed by Ed Lockman. And basically what Ed Lockman did was adapted Ansel Adams' zone system. So he is a famous Hollywood type of figure. And basically, I guess what the objective was is to get a more accurate reading of light coming into the image and hitting the sensor. So EL zone is in here, and honestly, I haven't used it yet, but I want to use it because I do see a major difference when I'm just monitoring false color with just the regular false color look versus the EL zone. On top of that, it has RE false color in it. So it's just really fantastic, the tools that come with it. And of course, it comes with your standard tools that you would get in a monitor anyways, like focus peaking, 1x and 2x magnification, you know, frame guide, also frame grids, also critical focus when you can punch in and make sure that your focus, you know, is really dialed in, especially if you're not using a parfocal lens. You can zoom into your image and adjust your focus and make sure your focus is peaking right where you want it to. You can adjust everything in this monitor. The gain of the monitor, the brightness of the monitor. Obviously, you can load your own LUTs in here, which is going to allow you to figure out what your image could look like in post. So that way, if you have your own LUTs loaded in here, you're going to actually be able to know that, okay, my image is exposed properly in the camera. So when I get back to post, I shouldn't have any issues. Also things like waveform, vector scope, which is also going to help with skin tones as well to make sure you're on that line for perfect skin tones, because as we know in production, especially when shooting subjects, skin tones are such a critical thing. And you don't want to get back to the post and realize that you got hot spots, or they're, you know, too burned or too hot or just too bright on one side of the image on their face, because, you know, let's just face it, not all of us are professional colorists, and we may not be able to fix that in post. So that is an excellent feature to have in there. So all in all, guys, you need to check this monitor slash recorder slash live streaming device out. It is truly one of the best monitors I've ever used. And I've used monitors from Portkeys, from Field World, had the Ninja 5 recently before this, used a small HD little inexpensive $399 monitor. And yes, there's other monitors out there that people probably swear by, like the Indy 7 and a lot of the small HD stuff. Listen, $1,000 or $1,200. You decide whether you want 6K input or 8K input. I mean, it really just boils down to that. As far as features, both have the Atomos OS 11 on it. Super smooth, super snappy, very functional. I mean, literally everything that you can want in a monitor is there. Plus, it records to SSDs. Instead of you spending a bunch of money on SD cards, you literally have this at your disposal. You can basically have 2 terabytes just right off the bat for $100 that you can just put your external SSDs in, and then you're off to the races. Codecs, I mean, it just has a slew of them. ProRes, 422, LT, HQ, ProRes RAW, DNX, Avid codec. I mean, that's something that's new that's been put in here as well. Listen, guys, this monitor I can't stop raving about. You're going to see this monitor in action with a lot of the upcoming projects and stuff that I have going on right now. I am going to swear and use this monitor because from what I've used it for thus far, it is absolutely tremendous, and it has absolutely shocked me on how good and feature-packed this monitor is for the price point. Atomos really is shining with this one, and they outdid themselves. So I think you should consider it. Please subscribe to the channel. You're not going to want to miss the content that I have coming on this. If you are in the market for a monitor and a recorder and something that just has all the other features to boot, as far as live stream and all the built-in features that it has, you really should check out this monitor. Now, I know I'm sounding a little salesy, but that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to, get you guys up on the game as far as what you're going to purchase, as far as SD cards and maybe a cheaper monitor, when you can just have something good like this. I really think this is the only monitor that I will ever use going forward. I mean, for the next few years at least. I don't see why not. So if you like this video, please feel free to go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss another video, especially the videos about this monitor. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to do some awesome stuff with it, and you should really consider it as well as your next monitor, recorder, live streaming device of your choice. So stay tuned for more content, and I appreciate you coming by. And until next time, be safe, be kind to each other, and take care.